The Persona series, a spin-off of the JRPG Shin Megami Tensei that managed to carve its own identity and fandom unique from the one of its progenitor. Its massive recent rise in popularity is all thanks to the game Persona 5, which propelled the series as a whole from a niche cult following to a classic in the JRPG genre. Persona 5 was an incredible jump in quality for the series. Persona 5 is stylish, Persona 5 is charming with its visuals and music, so much so that in a lot of cases it's mentioned and in discussion for some of the best music in gaming, period. And although Persona fans have the reputation to either have not played the game or hate it, I have played these games. More than most people should, if I'm being real. I was out here pulling 14-hour shifts the first time I played Persona 5, and I can safely say that these are amazing games, with the one I've played and replayed the most being Persona 5, which is why it pains me to say that Persona 5 is a gacha game now? Hello everyone, Tomo here, and this is Persona 5 The Phantom X. The Phantoms? I don't fucking know. This title was developed by a Chinese studio by the name of Black Wings, and the game is currently only available in Chinese or Korean unless you're using this translator made by the great fellas over at the P5X Worldwide Discord. Link in the description. Which, even if it isn't the most accurate thing ever, it gives you enough information to know what you're looking at. Taking place in what seems to be an alternate timeline from the normal Persona 5, this game reads quite a bit like a Persona 5 fan project in more ways than one, but we'll talk about it later, so stay with me here. Little disclaimer that for the things that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to assume that you're already familiar enough with Persona 5, as I may mention spoilers about it, and if you've never played a Persona game before, this is most definitely not the game you should be starting off with. Okay, so the game starts out in the same way as Persona 5 at the Side Palace with the same little intro section. We're presented with a little taste of the battle system that's been slightly reworked from the main series to fit the mobile gameplay. We can see turns on the top left, our options are now on the bottom right instead of the character silhouette, which is a bit of a bummer, but I get it, it would be very odd on a smartphone. And then we have our first all new features, the highlights, which are powerful special moves in the same vein as Persona 5 Royal Showtimes, but these are performed solo rather than in a duo. After the first tutorial fight, a cutscene plays and my man Joker gets jumped by this random ass fucking dude and loses. My god, it's so washed, man. Apparently it was all a dream because we woke up and are presented with a protagonist, which I don't think has a canon name yet other than his code name Wonder, so we're gonna have to call him that for the rest of the video. So on our first day, the protagonist seems out of it. He can't make any decisions, and every time he tries, it seems like he's losing the will to do anything. We then learn, thanks to this game's mascot Rufuru, that people's desire are being stolen by the shadows, and that's why everyone is losing their will to do things. How do they do it? I don't fucking know, the game doesn't do a good job of explaining it. We end up with Mementos, get jumped by shadows, and Wonder gets his persona Yanosik, which has a sick design. Get it? Yano sick.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Fast forward a bit and we're facing the shadow that is supposed to be one of those that steal on desires, but again, the game doesn't do a great job at explaining it, and after we beat it, it's never gonna be mentioned ever again, so it doesn't fucking matter. Rufuru pulls out his persona, and is that a fucking Gundam? Battle starts and the certified banger plays in the background. One thing I want to mention while this fight goes on is that the keybinds to me feel very finicky, on both keyboard and mouse and controller, so much so that you'll probably see me in the background switching between them quite a bit. A 1000 damage at level 2, by the way. Skipping ahead to day 2, we get a first look at our villain, the pettiest villain I've ever seen in a video game ever, but I'm gonna save my rant about him for later. We go back to Mementos and then the man himself, Joker Persona 5, appears. We do a sick double move with him, and then I guess he had to go back to his planet, so it just disappears.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.
We get dragged into the Velvet Room, which I didn't mention before, but it's an aquarium, and I like aquariums. Merope, this game's Velvet Room attendant, explains to us about Kaidos and Persona 2? To be as quick as possible, Kaidos are what this game calls their gacha units that consist of a persona, user, and their persona. Persona Duo, not 2, is the power that these units have because these aren't actually real people, but cognitive beings based off people that we know more or less. And their Phantom Thief forms reflect the cognition of their desires that have reached their strongest level. This last sentence was straight ripped from the Mega 10 wiki because I was completely clueless for a while. There was a long ass explanation to know who the fuck the people were pulling for on the gacha banner are, but I digress. Speaking of gacha, oh sh! The controller! Oh! Guessing we got a 5-star. Who the fuck is this guy? Well, that was easy. Sheesh. I'm gonna make a big jump ahead in the story, as I really mean it when I say that this whole arc is so fucking boring I had trouble getting through it. Our first villain is named Takayuki Kiyuchi, and he's an ex-pro baseballer that now goes around bumping into women because his tiny little pride was shattered when beaten baseball by a child. He's just a terrible villain. I won't spend any more time talking about this arc or the story in this game. Play for yourselves if you must, but you're not missing anything by not doing it. Enough ranting, let's talk about something that is actually pretty good in this game, the life sim. We are introduced to the activities we want to take part in outside of the metaverse, such as working part-time jobs or studying at a family restaurant, which is standard for this series. But these activities will consume one action point that recharges with time like your average stamina bar. And you can do more than one fucking activity per day and you don't lose your whole day for it, which is a very welcome addition. And we got some more stuff that wasn't in the main Persona games. We got cooking, where we can actually select what we want to cook. And we got customization, which please I need Persona 6 to add. I honestly really like what they were going for here with making as many activities and customization opportunities, as this is a live service game and you're technically going to have infinite days and not a set amount like in the standard series. And this is a fun way to give some kind of reason to take part in the life sim part of the game instead of just sitting in mementos 24/7. Speaking of mementos, you can go to mementos at basically any point of the day, and here there will be your main battling activities to get your materials, fight some bosses for rewards, etc. Nothing super interesting if I'm being real. So I think I've yapped long enough, let's get to the meat. So, how do I feel about the game? Okay, so I think this game has long time potential to be some sort of waiting room / main hub for Persona fans to play something while we wait for the next installment to release. Meaning, if you're extremely starved for Persona content, hard to fathom when there's so many fucking games, but this may be the game for you. In my personal opinion, this is by far the weakest entry in the main series, and I'm going to count it as such, as it has a gameplay look quite similar to that of the mainline games. But I believe it could rise up to be something much more enticing with time and updates, and I'll be checking in with the game every now and then to see if it is improved or not. And let's hope this lasts long enough to not be killed by the Persona 5 curse. So let me know your thoughts. Did you play Persona 5X? How did you feel about it? And be sure to let me know in the comments. More videos are coming. I'm not gonna leave you dry for too long this time. I plan to post something before Wuthering Waves and a video about Wuthering Waves post release, so stay tuned. Thank you all so much for the support on the past video. I did not expect the super positive response I got. I still play Nikkei, I just won't make any videos about it for a bit until I feel like there's something interesting that could be discussed. I yapped long enough. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff you guys already know, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.